Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of The Big Schmozz. This is our second episode in Season 1. It's probably going to go forever. Joining me today, a man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to introduce him. He is a member of the Rochester Wrestling Hall of Fame. He is a writer for Sports and Leisure magazine, an attorney, and a new mantle he's donned recently, a gentleman adventurer. Ladies and gentlemen, Ivan the Impaler.
And to my right, your left, superstar Rob Schulz.
Thank you.
And Rob, last time on, I believe it was episode 1?
Yes, episode 1.
I think it was episode 1. We talked about your accomplishments in independent pro wrestling, and you had won 4 titles and within one federation.
We determined I was pretty much like Triple H.
Well, we were using the term, we're trying to come up with a term to describe your winning 4 titles, and the best we could come up with was quad. You weren't doing the triple crown. You were a quad.
Quad crown.
But really, and again, kind of a baseball analogy, you are a Grand Slam winner.
Oh.
Yeah, when you win 4,
I think that works.
It's a Grand Slam. Yes.
I thought you were going to call me like a 5-tool player or something.
You have many tools. So we hear. But anyway, let's talk about what the people came all the way here to see, and that's professional wrestling, our great sport.
And even more so today, the Royal Rumble.
Yes, the WWE Royal Rumble, traditionally their second most viewed pay-per-view of the season.
It's my favorite.
You know, it probably is mine too, just because of the Rumble itself.
I love it.
And, well, here's a matter of housekeeping. Do we still call them pay-per-views since they're on the WWE network?
Well, they're still being sold to people.
Yeah, you can still buy them without the network.
But why would you do that?
I saw a joke on Twitter. You know, that's part of that interweb thing.
Mm-hmm. It's new.
And if I can't say as of today when we do this, which is live, of course, if the stock drops 60 more cents, the stock price will be $9.99.
Come on.
Yes, it will be $9.99.
That's exciting.
Not for the investors.
Okay.
But let's talk about the Royal Rumble, the pay-per-view. The winner of the Royal Rumble gets an automatic shot at the WWE title at WrestleMania.
And it wasn't always like that either. This is a relatively new thing.
Well, not anymore. It was, but not anymore. They've been doing it it's been an automatic title shot more than it hasn't been. Now that it wasn't that way at the beginning. And let's not forget, I can't remember the exact year. It was in the early 90s where the winner of the Rumble, because there was a title vacancy, became the WWF champion, and that was Ric Flair, because there was that whole, I think that's when there was that whole Undertaker, Hulk Hogan thing.
Okay, maybe you're right then.
Who was a champion, yes.
Yeah, that'd be about 92, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm older than you. And by the way, we should mention this.
Yeah.
And here's some information for you smarks out there. This is the only wrestling webcast podcast.
And most viewed.
Most viewed wrestling webcast podcast in North America.
Debuting in December.
Debuting within the last 30 days.
Yep.
Where the hosts are 15 years apart or more.
Yeah.
And have the same birthday.
Yes.
But we can't tell them the same birthday.
We're winning, though.
Oh, we're winning so bad.
We're going to hold on to this for a while, I think.
Yes. But let's get back to wrestling.
Yeah, let's get back to it.
That's what the kids are taking their time off from school and homework to watch right now. Okay, Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
There's going to be a triple threat match for the WWE title. The champion, Brock Lesnar, versus John Cena, versus Seth Rollins. Now, as we know, Rob, in any triple threat match, the champion does not have to be pinned or submitted to lose his title. So if, say, John Cena pins Seth Rollins.
Or Seth Rollins pins John Cena, as he just did.
That's right. And then Seth Rollins is the champion, and Brock Lesnar can say, hey, what about me? What about Brock? Or Paul Heyman may say that for him.
Yeah. Over and over.
It's kind of unfair. And that was a point made by Paul Heyman on WWE. Now, what do you think? See, this is what I always thought. In a title match, my tendency, make it an elimination match, which I guess would make it more a three-way dance if you wanted to get into the nomenclature, where, it's an elimination match. Okay, one guy gets pinned or submitted, then the other two fight. That's more fair.
The WrestleMania 2000 main event, which had 4 people, I don't recall. Do you recall, was that an elimination or not? I remember the Big Show was there.
Big Show, Mick Foley, Rock, and Triple H. I can't remember. Triple H won. I can't remember. That was 2000.
He's awesome. I love Triple H. All right.
You obviously wanted a job with the company. But here's what. Now, when you get into these three-way matches, Rob.
Yeah.
Will people work together?
Well, yeah. Well, we thought
try to eliminate one person and just save it for one-on-one.
Well, we thought coming in that Rollins and Lesnar would work together, but clearly by Raw, it looks like they're not going to, with the curb stomp and all. You know.
Or is he just sending a message saying, "Hey guys, I'm capable of beating you both.
I'm here too. What about me? What about Seth?"
A lot of Raven references we made today without.
That was a Raven reference?
What about me? What about Seth?
I thought that was new Lesnar reference. I'm making that up. I knew it was Raven.
Well, let's go to our format sheet. We do have format sheets, by the way, which,
Oh.
as performer journalists, we really love format sheets. The Authority, they're back. That stipulation lasted about 2 weeks, a month or so. Triple H and Stephanie are back.
Well, John Cena pretty much had to bring them back. I mean, Edge was almost killed on live TV by Seth Rollins with a curb
Well, he wasn't
stomp.
killed. He could have been crippled to the point he can't hold his
So he's like,
child.
I'm gonna kill him anyways.
What is the thing they always use when they're threatening to injure a wrestler? You know, he'll never be able to hold his child again. What about, I'm never going to be able to hold a sandwich again? That for me would be as much incentive to give in as holding a child.
Well, other things too. Can't drive a car probably.
That's right. I mean,
Or live.
well, you can live. It wouldn't be much of a life.
What if he kills him?
Well, he wouldn't be killed. He would just be crippled.
For PG TV, there's been a lot of almost people being killed lately.
Okay, we'll go
weird.
in that direction. Now, here's one thing. We don't know the Money in the Bank thing. Seth Rollins has this briefcase that gives him an automatic title shot whenever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
If Lesnar and Cena end up beating the holy crap out of each other,
Yeah.
might Rollins use this opportunity to cash it in?
If I were Rollins and I knew that this was going to happen, I would just hide under the ring for the whole match. Just hide under the ring. Well, I guess he could get counted out then.
Yeah, but if he gets counted out, then what? I don't know. If he gets counted out, then the match, is it over? Because it's not an elimination match.
Well, then they would still have to fight, but he'd be fine. He could pretty much like start the match late with his Money in the Bank.
He could just roll in and out.
Yeah,
I
I wish that the Money in the Bank came with like a Falls Count Anywhere stipulation also, though, kind of like the old Hardcore title did, where you could just you could really cash it in anytime, anywhere, and bang, you're in the back getting dressed, boom, you're in a match.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Royal Rumble match. We're also going to talk about how it will play into WrestleMania, what Brock Lesnar's contract status is. I don't know. Do you know?
I have no idea. That's why I came here today. I thought you might know.
Well, we'll try and find out. We're going to go to a commercial break for a new sponsor, Rob. It is the Ivan Hotline. You'll see more about it right now. We'll be right back.
I'm going to call.
Not right now, but soon when we get set up.
Okay.
It's pretty much all but set up. You finish taping this, then you can call. You're watching Wrestlevision Presents the Big Schmozz Podcast. What big-name WCW star is going to make his first ever WWE appearance? Call the Ivan line for details. Is a certain injured WWE superstar going to be coming back really soon? Yes! Call the Ivan line for details. 999-999-9999. It's only $9.99 a call. Call the Ivan line right now. A former wrestling superstar will finally be getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. Do I know who it is? Ooh, yeah! Call the Ivan line so you can find out too. Wow, we just got some wrestling news from Japan. It turns out that not all wrestlers in Japan are Japanese. Find out who. Call the hotline. Here's some special bonus information. Call the Ivan line right now, and I will tell you which former superstar is making a return to TNA wrestling. It's going to be awesome. It's the Ivan line. Call 999-999-9999 for all your wrestling information, news, and gossip. It's only $9.99 a call. A male wrestler wants to date a female wrestler. Find out who. Why hasn't CM Punk been on WWE TV for almost a year? Call the Ivan line and find out. You won't believe the reason. What? You have some insider wrestling information that I can share with my listeners? Give me all the gossipy details right now. Call the Ivan line right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard us talk about wrestling on the Big Schmozz, but now it's your chance to see wrestling live Friday, March 6th in Rochester, New York at the Blue Cross Arena for a chance to win 2 free tickets on the road to WrestleMania. Ivan, tell them how to enter.
Use Twitter. Tweet at Wrestlevision with the name of the wrestler you think is going to win the Royal Rumble. You don't necessarily have to pick the correct winner, but we will choose one of the entrants to win 2 free tickets. Rochester, New York, Friday, March 6th.
Think you can tell us what to do? Yeah. You think you can tell us what to win? You think you better? Yeah. Well, you better get ready to bow to the master.
Fans, the Royal Rumble is upon us. 30 men, 1 winner, and a trip to WrestleMania are at stake, Ivan. And it's coming.
Well, keep in mind that there have been there was a tie.
Yeah.
There was a tie in another year.
Yeah. The one that fed WrestleMania 10 was a tie.
Right, and the other one where Batista and I think it was John Cena got eliminated at the same time. And I mean, it's not funny, but Vince McMahon marches to the ring and ends up tearing both quads, which was like surrealistic because you knew he was hurt, but he carried on. He carried on with the show.
It's not funny.
It's not funny, but I give the guy major props.
That's when he dove in the ring, right? He dove in the ring and
yeah, and then I think he tore his other quad, and I would have been screaming like a banshee.
I was screaming. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
We got some people officially entered. Daniel Bryan coming back. Rusev, Bad News Barrett. Yes, I'm just totally reading off the sheet. Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Big Show Kane, and as you informed us, Rob.
On main event this very week, Goldust and Stardust.
So they're in. Other possible entrants. Well, I mean,
everybody, pretty much,
everybody,
right?
Everybody, yeah. Surprise entrants.
Well, I've been told that Kevin Nash won't be a part of this, and that is quite upsetting to me as a huge NWO fan.
He ran into a little bit of off-field legal problems. And by the way, he was at the last Rumble, and he basically couldn't move. I mean,
but I don't know. I got a little excited when his music hit. It was an exciting time.
I'm sure it was. The last couple of years, they've been bringing up a NXT talent.
Last year was Rusev.
The year before, I believe, was Bo Dallas, although Bo really didn't stay with the main roster for a while after that. Have there been any rumblings? No pun intended.
Wait.
Yeah, it was intended.
Come on, okay.
It was intended. Any rumblings about anyone from NXT? Have they said anything about it?
I don't know.
Okay, I haven't heard either.
Okay. But Rusev, I mean, he made a huge impact last year. Crushing the competition. I think he's even expected to make a bigger impact this year because he's got a year of the Rumble already under his belt. He also is the U.S. champion, so he literally has a belt. And I think he was the third person, I believe, that officially threw their hat into this ring. And I think, Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, Rusev, in that order, that could be our final 3, actually, in terms of who wants it most.
Okay. Final 3 or final 4, let's talk about this right now. The smarts, people who think they see into this and who listen and twist from people who think they have connections, which includes us. We listen to them. We don't have connections yet. The prevailing belief was that they were building, and this is like about 4 months ago, they were building WrestleMania to Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. That was the build. Now, things seem to have changed. Roman Reigns was off for a bit with that a legitimate hernia injury. He's come back. Something's missing. Maybe he's not. Hey, hernias are not easy to come back from. He's moving kind of slow. His promos are strange, and he's a decent promo guy, but by no means great.
But the ladies love him, right? That's got to go for something.
Well, the ladies love Fandango, and I don't even know if he's going to be in the Rumble.
I think he'll be there.
Someone's got to last 5 seconds, I guess. But we found out recently that Vince McMahon himself has been writing, allegedly.
What do you mean writing?
He's been writing promos for Roman Reigns.
I don't understand.
Suffer and Succotash and Donkey Dung, which may have flown in the early 90s. But right now, I think today's wrestling wants more from that. So this is one of those years that we're really not clear on building to who's going to be at WrestleMania. I just think from a business sense, storyline, but true. I think Brock Lesnar in the main event is crucial. We don't know what his contract status is beyond this year. That's a factor we don't know about that could very well...
that's way more your department than mine, for sure. So if you don't know, I definitely don't know.
Well, when it comes to electronics, then I don't know anything.
Okay.
I got to get a computer.
All right, anyway. So I think the unpredictability of the Royal Rumble is what attracts people to this. And, we don't even have everybody. When Sunday the Royal Rumble is on, we don't even know all the entrants. There's usually some other people that aren't around. So we're expecting maybe possibly Sheamus returning this year.
It seems to be time. He had an injury. He's coming back. He'll be there. Randy Orton.
RKO's out of nowhere.
Yeah, he has been doing house shows. Since Christmas.
Okay, and I heard he came out on Raw a couple weeks ago after the camera stopped rolling.
I heard that too. But nothing happens in WWE unless the cameras are rolling.
All right, other guys. Now, I expect Ascension to be in the Rumble individually. What if we see a return from Demolition or Road Warrior Animal?
That would be funny. I would laugh out loud.
You would laugh out loud?
I can't talk about Ascension. I don't feel it right now. I don't feel. About them. I don't know. Maybe it's too soon.
So,
I could see Daniel Bryan winning the Rumble. I could see it happening. Storylines. Oh, here's what it says in the format, Rob. Storylines involved in Rumble match. The role of the Authority. Obviously, they're going to try and interfere. That's what they do. They're heels. Here's what we used to call, in my day, the Diesel spot, which later became the Kane spot, and last year became the Roman Reigns spot. That some guy just goes nuts, eliminates a ton of people. He doesn't win, but it's like kind of you're stepping up. It's like a debutante coming out for the debutante's ball, and her parents saying, she's of age, she's fair game, guys. Well, they don't really say it that way, but who will be the debutante of this year?
It could be... Well, I think Roman Reigns is going to break his own record. I don't know if that... Yeah, I think so.
That's
that factors
11 people? Last year? I can't remember.
Let's do 12.
That's like over 1/3 of the participants.
Yes.
I could see two people maybe. Mm-hmm. One is kind of wishful thinking on our part because we had run-ins with this person before. Luke Harper.
Yeah.
The other person is maybe this is the year they just let the Big Show be a big monster.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
This is what I thought too. A couple weeks ago, I thought that Eric Rowan would be that guy that would just toss people out. They showed his humongous strength, but he's been fired. He's fired.
Yeah. A storyline. A couple people have been fired, like Ryback.
So Rowan, Ryback, and Dolph Ziggler have all been fired, and John Cena had a chance to bring them back, and he failed in his attempt to bring them back. So I expect, Ivan, they'll all be shipped off to other feds elsewhere.
OVW? NXT?
I want to see Dolph Ziggler.
Dragon Gate?
I want to see Dolph Ziggler in Lucha Underground.
Okay.
I want to see Eric Rowan go to, maybe go back to NXT somehow. But, wrap back around. Just leave the Fed and then come back, all the way around to the front door. And then Ryback maybe over in Impact.
I want to see someone go to Chikara and someone... Is Stampede Wrestling still running in Canada?
No.
I think they had reformed. Okay.
Our corrector has corrected us.
Okay.
No longer running.
Yes, okay. Let's see. We're going to have to break for a commercial really soon. Mm-hmm. Almost now, but I was going to make a point and I forgot. There's going to be somebody who just takes that next step and just kills it. If Ryback was in it, I would have predicted him.
You know what, Ivan? We can talk about...
There hasn't been a wrestling stipulation yet, Rob, that can't be broken by the writers.
I was going to say, we could talk about who it's going to be all we want, but we'll find out for sure in one short week.
We will.
At the Royal Rumble.
We're going to have to break for a commercial. I believe we have another new sponsor, Rob, and I think this is something you know about. It's the Superstar Chin Sack.
Yeah, from the makers of Superstar Rubbers. Fans, stay tuned. You're going to love it.
This is Wrestlevision Presents The Big Podcast. We'll be right back.
It's a big schmoz. Yes.
Or The Big Pod.
You know what I allow you to know. You know what I allow you to know. You're just a puppet.
Hi, I'm Superstar Rob Schulz, and I'm here to tell you about a product that has changed my life. It's from the makers of Superstar Rubbers, so you know it's gonna be good. It's the Superstar Chin Sack. Tired of getting milk and other edibles all over your man-some beard? Want to end the tireless nights of deep beard cleaning? Then grab a hold of my sack. It's easy to use, and you'll wonder how you ever lived without a sack on your face. The Superstar Chin Sack protects your beard and keeps food where it belongs. Just strap it on and dig in. Yeah, everybody's gonna be wearing my sack. Then grab a hold of my sack. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard us talk about wrestling on the Big Schmozz, but now it's your chance to see wrestling live Friday, March 6th in Rochester, New York at the Blue Cross Arena for a chance to win 2 free tickets on the road to WrestleMania. Ivan, tell them how to enter.
Use Twitter. Tweet at Wrestlevision with the name of the wrestler you think is going to win the Royal Rumble. You don't necessarily have to pick the correct winner, but we will choose one of the entrants to win 2 free tickets. Rochester, New York, Friday, March 6th.
Yeah, so many damn styles get tossed up in the mix. I got 'em yelling, get rowdy, get quick.
We are back, and it's time to talk about, really quick, some other matches at Royal Rumble.
That's right, the Royal Rumble pay-per-view on the WWE Network. What has been announced, apparently, Miz and Mizdow versus the Usos for the Tag Team Championship. I love Mizdow.
He's been bringing some of the best TV each and every week.
Yeah,
Must watch.
It's getting tired.
It is.
I think it's getting tired. For some reason, the Usos don't resonate with me. And I'll also say this, Rob. I have to say this. It's an old-time thing. This is 1950s kayfabe. The whole Mizdow thing, and I love it. It's great. He is great. He is not getting the credit he deserves, even with this. It exposes the business, Rob.
You know, he spoke. Yeah.
A front bump. You're exposing the business. I'm sorry.
He spoke for the first time in quite some time on Raw. And it shocked me. What's he doing? It was weird. It's been so long since he talked. I forgot he had his own voice. You know?
That's true.
All right, so also
each man should have his own voice in this society.
You gotta.
Okay. Women's title match, Rob.
Women's title match. It's not announced yet, but we're expected to. We got Nikki Bella taking on Natalya. A lot of this, they're getting a little rub from, it's a wrestling term, from Total Divas, which won best reality show or something recently.
Who gave it best reality show? The WWE
The People?
headquarters?
I think The People. Beating out
The People.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which was
that's like the difference between
pretty much the Randy Orton of shows.
Yeah. Between crap produced by various farm animals, in my opinion. Anyway, the rumored matches where we think they're going to head to maybe Big Show against Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. We'll see who wins that one. Another rumored match is that Ryback's suspended, but fired. He'll come back or something. A rumored eventually. Rumored match about him versus Rusev. We'll see what happens. We know Rusev is going to go into WrestleMania with the U.S. belt. We know that. We do. We're pretty damn sure of it.
Okay.
Rusev is going to go into WrestleMania as the U.S. champion.
Okay.
And he's going to lose.
If you say so, Ivan.
And speaking of who Rusev will eventually lose the U.S. championship to,
he might never lose it. He
might hold it forever, just like this show.
Yes.
Let's talk about TNA Impact. I might have said this on one of our previous episodes. It might have been episode 1.
Yeah.
That I had thought a couple months ago that Kurt Angle would come when his contract was over at TNA, would come to WWE, and that he would be the one to break Rusev's streak. But that's not going to happen because he re-signed.
He was so entrenched in Impact stuff that I was surprised by the internet saying things like that he'd be leaving. It's like, I don't know how he could pull such a crucial cog out of that wheel. Like, how would they let that even happen?
Rob, let me tell you, a couple of years ago, about 3 years ago, I interviewed Kurt Angle.
You did?
When he came to town with the TNA.
Okay.
And he said he would like to finish his wrestling career with a brief run in WWE. He said that with all respect towards TNA.
Okay.
But he said he would like to do one last run. Anyway.
Well, maybe this is an indication he's got some gas in the tank still.
I have some gas in the tank.
I know.
And I also put gas in my car before I came up.
Okay. So Kurt Angle did make his return to active wrestler last week on the first Destination America show of TNA. They got a little growing pains going on there. I don't think they're exactly where they want to be with their show yet. They had a kind of a, I don't know, they had, some guys pulling up in one bus and some guys pulling up in another bus at the start of the show.
So they're going in a different direction in terms of vignettes and skits. They're going
yeah, a little bit. But, I mean, that was the first show. I guess they shot some other ones already, but we'll really have to see how things are in about a month or so down the line.
Did they have another free pay-per-view type show?
Yeah, that's what they've been doing, and I like it. I mean, I don't want to have to pay money to see stuff. I do subscribe to the network, which you should do too.
So you're advocating socialism?
No, I like seeing things through my normal cable subscription.
Okay, but you are paying stuff for.
I'm paying for that.
So I guess that's not socialism.
And they raise my rate. Yeah, that's how they get you.
Darn.
So that's coming up. They were, filming in Manhattan, and they had
Manhattan?
The old ECW crowd, and they were chanting very naughty things, and they had to not just bleep, but they had to drop audio completely, which completely decimates any sort of promo, which was during every single promo.
Well, you talked about one of them off air, and I thought it was kind of funny. It was
funny.
It wasn't really dirty. It wasn't really dirty, but you can't say it. And anyway, some shows have been taped, and from what we understand, shows have been taped but not yet aired. A couple title changes coming, so if you want to watch. Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah, we broke kayfabe.
Okay, but some other stuff. They've removed Iron Mike Tenay. He's moved to his own show now on Saturdays, doing some of TNA's best matches for Sting. Already aired. Kurt Angle had two-parter, 2 hours. And, I hadn't really watched all of the TNA matches, so I'm catching up. They did a lot of crazy stuff. Kurt Angle was flying all over the place, moonsaults off of cages, huge front flips off of stuff. Lots of blood, too. My goodness, it's just weird to see so much blood nowadays after we've been, watching Raw recently with their, no color stance.
So they had some matches which the boys would call double juicers?
I've never heard that.
Okay.
If anything's a double juicer, though, yeah, I mean, definitely. Jeff Jarrett was bleeding like a stuck pig at one point.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jeff Jarrett.
Yes.
Not a great segue, but we're going to do it. We're going to go around the globe.
Okay.
And we're going to be talking about that in the next segment.
That's coming up next.
Yeah, around the globe. And we'll be talking about that and other things. So we're going to ask you, Rob, and all our fine viewers at home and the live studio audience here to stay tuned as you're watching.
It's called The Big Schmozz.
Wrestlevision presents The Big Schmozz Podcast. We'll be right back.
Maybe what we're doing might be wrong. How in the world could we be wrong? Never knew that love could take so long.
Call the Ivan line right now. The Royal Rumble will have 30 wrestlers, and I'll tell you 5 of them. Rumor has it there are 2 wrestlers who are not getting along backstage. Call me if you know. 999-999-9999. It's only $9.99 a call. Did you know that a current women's wrestling champion has a father who himself was a former world heavyweight champion? More than 14 times. Don't know who it is? Call the Ivan line to find out. It's the Ivan line. Call 999-999-9999 for all your wrestling information, news, and gossip. It's only $9.99 a call. This is the Ivan line. Which former wrestling great starred in a Hollywood movie? I'll tell you who.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard us talk about wrestling on The Big Schmozz, but now it's your chance to see wrestling live Friday, March 6th in Rochester, New York at the Blue Cross Arena for a chance to win 2 free tickets on the road to WrestleMania. Ivan, tell them how to enter.
Use Twitter. Tweet at Wrestlevision with the name of the wrestler you think is going to win the Royal Rumble. You don't necessarily have to pick the correct winner, but we will choose one of the entrants to win 2 free tickets. Rochester, New York, Friday, March 6th.
Ivan, it's time to go around the globe.
Around the globe. And we're going to start around the globe with Ring of Honor, which doesn't really fit into well with the globe, but we're going to do it that way anyway.
It's on the globe.
Well, it is on the globe, but we go around the globe. We were in North America.
I figured it worked because ring is like still circular, like, Yeah, there you go. Go.
We'll use that as a selling point.
Okay.
I'm sure everyone will buy that. Ring of Honor, they recently had a three-way match to determine the number one contender to the world title currently held by Jay Briscoe. It was a match between Tommaso Ciampa, Hansen, who has really been getting the singles push lately, and Michael Elgin.
We talked about him in episode 1.
We talked about him. Was it episode 1?
Episode 1.
Yeah, okay. And they had a three-way match and it basically ended in a no contest, so we don't know who the number one contender is. Nigel McGuinness has not made an announcement yet.
Okay.
As far as who's the number one contender to Jay Briscoe. So, well, we'll find that out next time. Same bat time, same bat channel, depending upon where you live. This is truly global. Global Force Wrestling.
And this is Jeff Jarrett's deal?
This is Jeff Jarrett's deal. Now, we're not quite sure what his deal is, but
It's full capacity.
if you will.
Okay.
But they were behind getting the big Wrestle Kingdom New Japan pay-per-view shown in the U.S. with U.S. commentary. And those commentators, Rob, were Jim Ross and Matt Stryker.
Oh, I know those names.
You definitely know those names. People who saw it, I didn't see it. People who saw it raved about it. They said even the bad matches were okay. Bad matches, relatively speaking.
And that's heartwarming because the internet is always so kind to everybody,
and
generally.
And they're also they get their facts right all the time.
Yeah.
The main event was Kazukata versus Tanahashi. These two have had great matches in the last 2 years, and I think it's like at least four times in major matches right now. Also had some names North American fans may be familiar with. AJ Styles was on it.
Okay.
The Bullet Club.
Tell me more about this Bullet Club.
I'll tell you about this Bullet Club, Rob.
Okay.
Let me tell you something, Rob Schulz, about this Bullet Club. It's a stable of wrestlers. AJ Styles is part of it. Basically a heel club. When Jeff Jarrett did a few spots in New Japan last fall, he was part of it. They had the tag team championship, the heavyweight tag team championship going into this pay-per-view. The team of Machine Gun Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows.
All right. We know him.
We know him, Doc Gallows, who was part of the Straight Edge Society.
He was Luke Gallows, formerly Festus. And then also in TNA Impact, he was Doc in Aces and Eights. Doc Gallows.
Doc Gallows in Aces and Eights. And what a segment that was, Aces and Eights.
What does Doc stands for? Like Director of Chaos?
It could be, or it could be short for Doctor.
Okay.
But Director of Chaos makes sense too. Anyway, by the way, New Japan is on Access TV, or it's also available on the internet. They have a weekly show now. It's in Japanese. Sometimes listening to Japanese commentators are just as good as listening to American
You
commentators.
just guess what they're saying, basically.
Well, you know what a spinning toe hold is in Japanese?
I'm going to spinning toe hold.
Spinning toe hold. So you got that.
that one
But yeah,
out.
people loved it. How often they're going to do these pay-per-views in English, we don't know, but everybody loves it. Lucha Underground. Speaking of Matt Stryker, he did commentary on the Wrestle Kingdom New Japan pay-per-view.
Let's take it from the Far East, south of the border, but slightly above the border.
Slightly above, but to the west.
Yes. Spot mania out there.
Which is what people say the best thing and sometimes the worst thing about Lucha is Spot Mania.
It's definitely a different style of wrestling, and it's fun to watch, especially coming off, Raw, where they talk for, half hour.
I mean, they do some I've read reviews. They do some. Who's the commissioner for either Cuarto?
Yeah, he's pretty much the Vince over there.
Okay.
He talks a little bit. He's more like Bischoff, I guess, like old Bischoff, it seemed, a little bit. It's fun to watch. Anyway, Blue Demon Jr. returned, and you can catch this weekly on the El Rey Network.
Yes, I don't get the El Rey Network. I don't get access either.
Well, check your local listings, because you might.
Okay. I guess it's just interweb thing. We have to. And by the way, I made that Matt Stryker segue because he is also one of the. He's a play-by-play guy for Lucha.
Yeah, he and Vampiro are the commentators over there.
Vampiro!
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist it.
Okay. Ivan, let's take it home. Let's go straight to the finish.
Indeed we will, Rob Schulz. Indeed we will. We talked about this bus.
Yes.
On TNA Impact. The bus. The heels on one bus. The faces, or as they call them in England, the blue eyes, on the other bus. I I know. I heard.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's
This is why you should watch The Big Schmozz. You learn all kinds of things like that.
yes.
Go.
I read it on the internet.
Yes.
But it was from a respected newspaper, kind of. I like the old school separation of heels and faces. Now, I know that doesn't work now because there's so many more tweeners. It reminds me of WCW Saturday Night, the mothership, if you will, where they had separate locker rooms, the blue and the red locker rooms, the heels and villains. I realize that's impractical now, but I kind of like that separation. I didn't see it. I heard the production wasn't that good, but I like that. I like the bus thing.
It was a pretty neat new start on Destination America where they, let these guys really come together. Too volatile, mixture, make it a big concoction. Just a big. It was a schmozz. It was a schmozz outside, which then went inside, and just all around the ring, up in the rafters, people going crazy. The whole crowd was there too, so it was a real raucous scene.
It was a combustible situation.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Great.
All right, Ivan. Well, I want to tell you something I've been doing recently.
What have you been doing?
I've been watching Stone Cold Steve Austin in non-wrestling roles recently.
Expand on that. Rob.
He hosts 2 shows on CMT. One, the Broken Skull Challenge, he does, and he also hosts Redneck Island, which these people are like, they're like it's like a totally different world.
You told me a little bit about one of these shows. I can't remember which off the air. That's something. There's a challenge where someone has to climb up a steep
At the
hill,
Broken Skull Ranch, yeah.
but their opponent can actually try and knock them off.
Impede them, yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they get to go against the Skull Buster, and if they beat the Skull Buster, it's like a half-mile obstacle course, basically, and the winner gets like $10,000.
See, 10,000 is kind of cheap.
Okay.
It should be. Well, it's a weekly show.
There's
right?
off- there's
there are
off
weekly
the
winners.
road.
There are weekly winners?
Yeah.
See, I think that's okay. I think the Broken Skull Challenge should be that the last competitor to avoid having a broken skull wins.
Well, it's just the name of it. They don't really get their skulls broken.
So it's
all right, so Ivan, next month, after Royal Rumble, it's going to be a new title, WWE Fastlane pay-per-view, fittingly on the road to WrestleMania.
Oh, I get like a lane, a path, a journey towards WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. And road-oriented.
They pay these people money to come up with stuff like this.
I like it.
I mean, this I like. They should really just turn over the entire writing staff.
But that's pretty much it, though. That's all we got this time. So,
well, you know what we do? I think we should close the show. Okay, and we'll close the show by reminding folks that there is a Wrestlevision.com. You can go on your computers and the intro and see it. Wrestlevision is on the Twitter.
yes, you can follow them there.
You can see it there. You can listen and kind of watch Wrestlevision Presents the Big Schmozz podcast, not only on YouTube, but on the Rock Sports Network. That's ROCSportsNetwork.com.
Yeah.
I'd like to plug my articles in Sports and Leisure magazine, distributed throughout Western New York and Southern Ontario, but available very soon worldwide on the intraweb. We'd like to thank our sponsors, who are Legion. Should plug in Sports and Leisure magazine, an article on former WWE superstar and ECW superstar Colin Delaney.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a man who you ran into back in your days, but we won't get into that right now.
They can read about it.
But they can read about it in the damn article. We'd like to thank you for joining us. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you for spending time with us. We try to bring a semi-informed, intelligent, but a level-headed discussion of wrestling to you, not yelling and screaming, because I found, Rob, in life and in law, the more you yell and scream, the less you really have to offer.
Words to live by.
Indeed. Final word from me. Thank you for watching. Rob, you have any closing words?
That's it. We'll see you on down the road.
Everyone get on your feet. Wave your hands, turn up the heat. Everyone get on your feet. When in darkness will be yours. When in darkness will be. Yeah, the darkness will be. When the darkness will be.